Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Hey, how's it going? Um, let's say I use Loopy's Ohayo gozaimasu, good morning in Japanese. I did not try, I tried a little bit, like I would say, konnichiwa and arigato. Um, and hopefully I was able to somewhat show that I want to at least a little bit be able to communicate with Japanese, but I did not take or have the time, really, honestly, to learn a whole lot. So, good morning, everybody. I am, for the most part, doing okay as far as like acclimating back to the time zone. Um, I think I did pretty well going there to Japan as far as acclimating to the time zones. I slept well. Um, yeah, whatever I did on the plane as far as the amount of time and when I slept a little bit here and there seemed to be working. I did um, sleep very soundly last night. Once I got to sleep at my pretty much normal sleeping time, I was out though, and when the alarm went off at 6:30 this morning, I definitely felt that. But hey, here, let's take a look. Let's see. Let's see here. We've got Bloopy says I'm looking and sounding good. Well, I'm glad to hear I'm sounding good, looking good. Who knows? I mean, we'll leave that up to everyone's interpretation here. Was hoping to see you at Game Market this past weekend, but it wasn't meant to be. Wow, yeah, I was all over. I was all over. Um, Saturday and Sunday, and on the game market. And yeah, all right. Well, look, I've got a bunch of games that I brought back. I have not. I can tell you, I have not opened any of these games. I have not even checked which ones have English rules or don't. That all comes a bit later. But for the most part, I just want to just show you, give you a little bit of an idea of what I came back with. I'm not going to have extensive information about all of these games. I probably won't have extensive information about many or most of the games. But I did a video where I was talking about the things I was hoping to get, and this is just kind of a follow-up of showing you the things I did get. I can tell you I got just about everything on my list. There was uh, one title for sure on my list that I wasn't able to bring back because it sold out within 10 minutes on Sunday. It was only there Sunday. And then there were a couple of titles that I did not get solely because of space concerns. So let's go to the table. Yeah, let's just go to the table. And I'm going to kind of start from small games to larger games as far as size goes. And, I got a fair number of trick-taking games, but maybe people might be surprised that there's many games that are not trick-taking games that I got here. And I want to make sure, yeah, I may play around a little bit with my, making sure I stay my face in frame. Although, really, you don't need to see my face. It's a little bit of vanity going on there. If I'm being quite honest, it's a little bit of vanity there. All right, well, um, let's just go. Let's just get started. So, I think the smallest box I got was the Rainbow City solo expansion for Tokyo Highway Rainbow City. This just allows you to play the game solo. So I got this from Itten Games, and yeah, that fits in the palm of my hand right there. Well, technically that's the palm of my hand, but yeah, it fits. It fits there. And I have other games from Itten coming up, but like I said, I'm just kind of going generally from smaller to larger. This is a game that got a lot of buzz, pun intended, because it's about anaphylaxis and it's called Anaphylaxis. This is, as it says right there on the box, a trick-taking game. But yeah, this is a small little game. And like I said, I was looking forward to this. I had reserved this. I got got it at the game market. And then from what I heard, it sold out and did quite well. All right, These next two I blame solely on Robert Geislinger of Arcane Wonders because he bought these specifically and gave them out to people. This is Space Macho and the Workout Macho. I know zero about these games, but they look very silly. They look like they're party type games because you've got 2 to 6 players and 2 to 12 players. And this one, here, let me see. Let me just open this one, the Space Macho, because it looks like it has dice with flexed biceps and a 3D printed kind of flexing dude. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Robert was very, very insistent that I have this and the workout. Yeah, Space Macho and the Workout Macho. And yeah, these are in Japanese, but I'm assuming it'll be easy enough to translate. Many of these games will not have English translations in them and or English rules in them. And so I've been able to have pretty good luck with Google translating. All right, how am I gonna keep things kind of, I'll just put them off to the side. All right. So these two I got from the same boot. This is the Goat Father. Yep, I talked about this on my want to list. So this one was a reservation that I picked up. This one looks like it does have English rules included. Trick-taking game, excited about that. And from the same publisher, at least, Seafood Chain. He was selling it, I bought it. Little impulse there. That one wasn't on my list. I knew nothing about it, and honestly still knew nothing about it. All right, we'll just kind of keep these off to the side. Sure, let's go here. Paki te chocolat. Interesting packaging here, all right. And this one, from what I can understand, is a bit of a dexterity game. Look at this, all right, where you've got chocolate bars, a couple of outrageously tiny dice. I just rolled a 7, which is statistically, most likely, and so that's good. And then these are like chocolate bars that I think what you're trying to do is snap them at particular locations. And I think it's a 2-player game, and you hold, one person holds it, the other person tries to snap it at a particular point. I believe that's kind of how it goes. And I think where you have to snap it is based upon what you roll on the dice. It does look like there are English rules in this one. Yeah, a tutorial, how to assemble. I can't go into a lot of detail because I've got so many games to get through, but very, very excited about this. The concept of it I find hilarious. Again, just a quirky little thing that you're unlikely to find anywhere but Tokyo Game Market. And now I'll deal with putting it back nicely. All right, later. So a couple of games. There were 3 games that I was really focusing on getting from the publisher Panpas, and unfortunately, I only got 2 of the 3. So I'm happy I got these 2, but the one I was most looking forward to is obviously the one most people were looking forward to because it was sold out within 10 minutes on Sunday. And so the game that I did not get was called Black Candle, which was a dexterity type of a game. But I was able to pick up Compress and Lose Well. And now this is a small publishing house that Jun Sasaki and Goro Sasaki started last year, and I believe they had 1 or maybe 2 games at the autumn market in 2024. So have no idea, but I picked them up just on the designer pedigree alone. Jun Sasaki, most known for being, the face of Oink Games to some extent. All right. Here we go. Hold, Release, Capture. This is from Kamibayashi, the designer of Unreliable Wizard and Kiri-Eye the Duel. both of which were picked up by larger publishers. They started like this in these, kind of Ziploc package games. They were, like I said, for Unreliable Wizard, that was picked up by Salt and Pepper Games. And Kirai the Duel was picked up by Lucky Duck. This one has not been picked up yet. It's brand new. Hold, release, capture, 1 player, 15 minutes, 29 cards. I'm all in. Very excited to play that. This was one that was in kind of, there was a term for what the area was called that not grab bag location. I can't remember, but basically all of the games were in these kinds of packages. And I think that there was even a limit to the number that they can bring. This is called Pose Mania. And this is it's a party game where essentially you've got different levels of cards, level 1, 2, and I think 3. And what you're trying to do, it's like a reverse charades, basically, right? So you're doing poses. One person's doing poses, and the people are trying to get you to do these poses with limited communication. Looked fun. 2 to 10 players, 15 minutes. Why not? There's that. All right. I'm very excited about this next one. This, to me, when I think of Tokyo Game Market, I'm thinking of games like Cops versus Smugglers. All right. So I got the version. I had to pre-order or reserve this. I got the version of the game. It came. There was one that was in a small box. This one was actually in a piece of luggage with wheels that move and a handle that slightly raises. Why? Does it matter? No. I care. This is great. So, Cops versus Smugglers, 2-player game where the idea is that you are trying to pass off some contraband goods, and the other player is trying to figure out which of the goods have contraband or not. Well, how does that work? I'm doing it very briefly. You've got this baggage inspection table. You've got pass and confiscate. All right. And so what one player is doing is that they are trying to smuggle these pieces of contraband. All right. And how are they going to do so? You've got gems, you've got weapons, you've got coins, you've got gold bullion. And so how are you doing that? Well, you're doing that with Play-Doh, folks. You're doing that with Play-Doh. And so you're going to have the one person that's trying to smuggle is taking some Play-Doh and they're making it into shapes that look like maybe they've got something in there, maybe they don't, right? And so 3 of the items are going to have this contraband inside. 3 of the items are going to just be Play-Doh, and the inspector is going to try to figure it out. Now they've got one chance I believe, one chance of the 6 items to poke into the Play-Doh and try to figure out and which things get through and which things get confiscated. And if they are correct, then the inspector wins. If the smuggler's correct, the inspector. You know what? As soon as I heard this concept, I was in love. And I hope it's as good as the concept. Even if it's not, I kind of don't care, because this is, like I said, when I think of Tokyo Game Market, I think of games like this that you probably would not find anywhere else unless some publisher is as smitten as with this as I am, at least the concept, and decide to do something with this. I don't know. I love the idea. Can't wait to try this out. Joey Evans apparently can't wait to try this out. So this is one I'll make sure that I bring to Game Market East, all right? Or Game Market East, Dice Tower East. All right, here we go. I am 15 minutes in. I need to get going. I need to get moving. All right, getting slightly larger here in scale, in size, I should say, not in scale. All right. Here are 3 games from designer, I want to get the number right, 326. He goes by 326. 326 is probably best known as being the designer of Ito. Yeah, that's a pretty important big game, right? It's a Dice Tower essential. So these are 3 games in his small publishing line, or I think it's a small publisher, Day Moon Games. I don't believe all 3 of these are brand new. Maybe they are, I don't know. But just based on that pedigree alone, and the designer was kind enough to give me review copies of these, so very much looking forward to checking those out. It says English instructions included. That's great. So look, all 3 of these, although they have Japanese on the back, they all have English instructions included, and so sweet. Seven Prophecies is an older game by Hinato Origucha, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Seven Prophecies, but this is the a new version that's being put out by Sunnybird Games, and I really like what Sunnybird does with their productions. They usually have very, very, very nice productions, and English rules at this QR code, so that's really good. Let me see if there's anything I'm missing here. I will talk about the latest Sashi release, and but they're saying they got Come Sail Away and they loved it. That is fantastic. Okay, moving on. All of those have been covered. Let's just talk strictly about one booth, Plate Games. So yes, I went to Plate Games and got a bunch of stuff. So they had this kind of a promotion there where there was a box. It was basically like a shoe box, I would say, close to inside. Well, let me put it to you this way. These all fit. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of glare here. But these all fit in one box. And so you could buy the games individually, but if you used this box, you could fill it with as many games as would fit, because some of these are obviously wider than others, for a really good price. And so these are the ones I did not have. Okay, so Flying Fries, from what I can tell, is a dexterity type of a game where you're trying to pull out fries without being the one that's going to make them launch. All right, so you can get an idea of the gameplay from there. Looks great. 5-minute silly dexterity game, all about it. Zombie Dot is a game that had been released, I think, as one of these kind of smaller games like this, and has been picked up by Plate Games now. And it looks like you're kind of like laying out cards to, you know, like a path building type of thing. Looks cool. Trio Vision. This was a Hook game, German publisher, and Plate has a version of this. Really don't know much about it beyond that. Doesn't matter. Billabong Race is an older Eric Solomon game that is now getting the L board treatment. All right. Digit Code is another, what looks like one of their kind of logic games. They came out with Orapa Mine. Actually, I had a copy of that there too. But this looks like it's more in that line of kind of like a logic style game. I believe this one was sent to the Dice Tower studios as well. Actually, many or most of these may have been sent to that as well. Meow 10 is a adorable looking cat card game. And in that same kind of line here, Meow Meow Dice. Yes. Different designer, it looks like. But I've heard really good things about this. And the dice are different parts of the cat. And so that's adorable. Happy about all these new Plate games to add to my already ridiculously large collection of Plate games. All right. All right. Continuing on, let's go here. Oops. All right. Odyssey. This is an Odyssey the Prophecy, which was a pack of extra cards. This is the newest game from Gunnil, who is a trick-taking, well, mostly a trick-taking designer, and is probably best known for Jekyll versus Hyde. But I've really enjoyed Gunnil's games in the past. He's done some fantastic two-playing trick-taking games. This is actually 2 to 4 players, and this is called Odyssey, a trick-taking game, and from his Schemers publishing house. All right. Yeah, can't wait to play this because I've really been a big fan of Gunnil's games in the past. Some of these games, again, are going to look familiar to you because I covered them on the wish list here. Here is Smombi Vacation. Do we want to zoom in a little more? Yeah, we'll do that, just a little bit more. And then I'll zoom back out when the games get larger. And again, I apologize for a bit of the glare, but I wanted them to be, lit well enough you can see them. So this is the game that I talked about. There's nothing on the back there, where players are they're holding smartphones, and they only are looking down because they are smartphone zombies or smombies, and they are going to be... These are Japanese rules. Actually, I'm guessing these are both Japanese rules. Yeah, these are Japanese rules, but they have English online. But the idea is that you are moving around on a grid, placing out tiles, but players are, they're only looking down because they've got their smartphones. And so you're trying to play tiles to make them move a particular way, path building type of a thing. Very, very excited about that. There was an original one, called Smombi. This is Smombi Vacation, which ups the player count from 2 to 4. All right, it was just a 2-player game before. Now it is a 2. So here's the 2-player rules. Here's the 2 to 4 player rules. All right. Okay, still moving. Here we've got Fine Line. This is the newest in the games from Vic Village and the designer Leo, and she's done some fantastic games in the past. I just actually reviewed a couple last week. There we go. Reviewed a couple last week, Patir, and I reviewed Vivo the week before that. And so this is the newest trick-taking game. Really, really have enjoyed Leo's games in the past, so looking forward to this. This is the expansion to Magic number 11, the 2-player soccer-themed game, and I've got what looks like some extra cards here as well. And this is from Pluto Games. Really, really, I really enjoy the base game of Magic number 11. 2-player, as I said, soccer-themed game, or football, depending on where you are in the world. Most parts of the world, football. This adds like a penalty or corner kick board, and some extra players and things along those lines. So excited to add this to a game that I already like. Wire and Flow. Flow, I believe, was released last year, and Wire is new to this game market. This is from what I understand, a college student. This is somebody who has designed these 2-player abstract games. You can just kind of see they're usually path building games, and I think Wire is the same, but the idea here is that you're going to either be placing one of these sticks or rotating a stick, but keeping it within its same box. So you're trying to create a circuit from one end of the board to the other, and you can use the other player's sticks as well. But basically, you're trying to connect, like the blue player is trying to connect from the blue side to the opposite blue side, the red player trying to connect from the red side to the opposite red side. And again, you're either placing out one of your sticks or you're rotating. You can see the dotted lines basically where you can move those. And then Flow is a similar type of a game where you are placing. Here I think you can do some pushing and things along those lines, but very simple 2-player abstract games. Well, simple in rules. I don't know how simple they are to win. And Chris failed me by never trying Magic number 11 this weekend. Shame, shame, shame. All right, Let's talk about these two adorable looking games from Silver Gun Games. These were also, oof, that glare. These were also in my anticipated my want list, and I did reserve them. And so you got Shake It Meerkat and Vroom Vroom Quokka. Adorable. Look, I mean, they're adorable. And so this is one, I've already talked about these in the lead up video. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about how they play, but they're adorable. And I believe these eventually sold out. They may have sold out on Saturday, actually, and they may have only been there Saturday. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. Let's go to some of the bigger publishers. Gravity 3 is the newest in the Itten Fun Brick series. All right. And so this is 3 different games that all use the components within this box. Memory times gravity, comparison times gravity, doubt times gravity. And so basically memory, comparison, and doubt, 3 different games within this box with some very cool components. The box itself becomes kind of like a tilting type of a thing. Did I lose my hat in Japan? No. Still got it. I just don't have it on right now. Boop. Hits and outs. This was, pun intended, I suppose, a huge hit from what I could tell at Game Market. Like, this was selling like crazy. Their booth was basically themed around this game. They had a giant version of it. But this is a 2-player baseball themed game where there's a bit of like kind of hiding and detection. You're basically choosing a base, and if the pitcher guesses the correct base that you're shooting for, so if you're going for a single, a double, a triple, a home run, basically, you know, they're trying to figure that out. And super excited about this. Four Corner Detective was just covered on the news, right? And so the idea behind this is that the cards have different how would I describe this? Different amounts of roundness on the corners. And so you start kind of where the notch is, and you're trying to guess how round the different corners are. I could tell you that, yeah, you can feel that the difference between the 3 corner and the 8 corner is pretty noticeable. And so the correct answer for this card would be 3, 4, 5, 8, okay? But you're not going to see it. All you're doing is holding this under the table, and you're feeling the corners and trying to guess based on how round the corners are what the number is. And, you know, obviously then finding out if you are correct or not. What a clever, clever idea. And thankfully these Itten games have English rules as well. So there's that one. And then this is really, I could have come back with so many Oink games, but I really only came back with this one because Oink games definitely make sure to sleeve those cards. I will not, John. This game was exclusive to the Tokyo, well, I think it was exclusive at least, maybe not to Tokyo Game Market, but I don't think this is going to be one that's going to be localized because it's very specific. This is a re-implementation of Souvenirs from Venice. This is called Fair Trade Souvenirs, and it was part of an initiative from a Japanese city about fair trade. And so they kind of adapted it to this version of the game. So I got this one because, like I said, I don't think this is one that's going to be as easily obtainable. And the other Oink games that I was interested in, I think I'm going to wait until they have the English rules versions and go from there. All right, getting slightly larger here. Here we have White Runner, and this was only on Saturday, I believe. I know this one sold out too. This is from Jelly Jelly Games, and I actually visited one of their cafes, but they're also a publisher, and Sora Game Studio. Cross Country Skiing board game. Yes, love it. And this is one where the box, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. The box becomes the board. All right, so there you go. The box becomes the board. You've got these adorable meeples, which you can kind of see through the bag there. They're cross-country skiing. Got the cards. You got the boards, the dice. Anyway, yes, the art is gorgeous on this. The game board is cool. You are laying out tiles on here. You're trying to race starting spots here and different goals along the way. Although it looks like this is maybe your final goal. I don't know. I haven't read the rules yet, but pretty excited about this one. Reserved this one and happy to have a copy of it to check out. That's White Runner. From Broadway Games, which I believe is a Hong Kong publisher. This is The Wondrous Museum, and I was interested in this one for a couple of reasons. Yeah, other people are talking about Wiggle Roulette and Petticoat. I absolutely considered getting those there, but I didn't know if they had English rules. I probably should have just got them there, you know, but I can usually get Oink games a little bit easier, so I didn't stress about those two titles as much. This is from, I'm going to mispronounce the name, I'm sure, Zonger, who is, has designed some fantastic games, including Vegetable Stock, which we've covered quite a bit on the channel. I like the theme of this. I love the art, and the designer is solid, and so that was enough to get me in just on that alone. It looks like it's in English as well, so bonus. Shinobi no Gi, I don't even know, this was one which was given to me as a review copy, so I really don't know much about it. I do think there's going to be some localization, English localization that needs to be done, but I believe that I might be getting some more information about this one later. So I don't really know much about it, but I think I'm supposed to be getting more info on it later. Okay. Oh, what was the English name of this game? In Between Cat or Cat in Between or something like that. Anyway, adorable looking game from Sky Huang. Wanjin Gil did the art, and I believe that Wanjin does a lot of art for plate games as well. So I believe this is a Taiwanese designer. This is a game that actually got picked up, and I believe it's going to be released from the Op. I think the Op picked this up. And so this is a game where you are trying to get as close as to the cat as possible without going past it. So you've got this cat that kind of is a target spot, and you want to get close to it, but not the cat between us. Thank you, Zorias. The cat between us. I knew it was something like that. But yeah, this is going to get released soon. It looks like from the Op. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm looking forward to that. And as they were saying, yeah, John was saying most Oink games will be available at the US. So suitcase room was a huge, huge issue, and so I'll just pick them up at Gen Con. All right, Lunar Trick. Actually, there's some smaller games I missed over there, but I'll get to those later. I talked about this one, trick-taking game with some unique kind of mechanics to it as far as like where you place your cards are going to be determining what the suits are. And I just love the look of this. This one I also believe sold out, I think. But yeah, Lunar Trick. Let me go back to these smaller ones here that I missed. All right, now, Lazy Bellboys was a game that actually came out at an earlier Tokyo Game Market, probably last year, from Shibu, and this got a lot of good buzz. This game was very well received, and so they had a few copies that were available at this year's, and it sold out very quickly, but thankfully I was able to get a copy of one of those. You weren't even able to reserve this one, I believe. So there's that. But the new one, Clumsy Roommates from Shibu. As you can see, they have a very similar art style, which I adore. It kind of looks like a Wes Anderson movie here. So Heard really good things about this. This also seems to be getting some good buzz already. So looking forward to those. Sumu. This was also getting, this is one that I did not really know anything about going in, and I didn't reserve it, but I started hearing so many good things about this on like the Trick Taker Discord groups that I'm a part of, that I went ahead and picked up a copy of it. 3 to 5 player trick-taking game from PAX Guild. So this one I picked up because I was hearing really good things about it, and hopefully it's good. All right, Trickerous. This is a game that has already been reviewed on the channel, so you can check that out if you want to. But the designer, Bajir Cannon, was kind enough to make sure that I got my own copy, and it was really nice chatting with him as well. He's a really nice guy. And I only played this a couple of times. I want to play it some more, and yeah, looking forward to more Trickerous. Let's get the 2 board bowl games. You've got Pizza Zombie and Who's Foods Foo. Neither of these were brand new to this Tokyo Game Market. They're from earlier Tokyo Game Markets. But Board Bowl I first became acquainted to from a game called Sneakerheads that I have, I believe, covered on the channel, maybe even reviewed. Have to check. But I absolutely adore, especially their art and graphic design. These just look awesome to me. And so I've heard really good things specifically about Pizza Zombie. So looking forward to playing both of these. All right. This was a very hot game. Fudokoma Games. This is Depot. I reserved this. This absolutely sold out. But basically, you know, the cards look like Amazon shipping boxes, and you're just trying to kind of like, it's from what I can tell, a card hand management type of a game. That had a lot of early positive buzz. I love the theme. I love the look of the cards. They're, I want to say they're larger than standard size cards. Here I am opening a couple of these. Why not? I'm going to be opening them eventually. But I did want to show off the cards. I mean, these just look awesome to me. I love the graphic design of the cards. All about it. All right. Depot. This was called My Own Sunny Day, and I know it's a trick-taking game, 3 to 4 players, 30 minutes. Beyond that, I don't know too much about it. I heard some early, again, you know, you hear good things. That tends to be some things that kind of lead you into making some choices, and so I went ahead and bought this one. Still don't know much about this. Need to get some translated rules for it, but I have heard very good things. All right. The newest game from designer Taiki Shinzawa. This is Quashars, and this was also very hot at the Tokyo Game Market. All of Taiki Shinzawa games get some interest. Some are liked more than others. Some have been picked up. Many of Taiki Shinzawa's games actually have been picked up for wider distribution. This is the newest. And so this is what I picked up strictly based off of the designer. I knew nothing about it. I actually know nothing about it. There has been a little bit of information released since. But I'm just in because most Taiki Shinzawa games are games I really like. What's called Twinkle Starship now, what used to be called Segment Tricks, is, if not my favorite trick taker, it's darn close. It may be my favorite trick taking game. And so I really like the look of these two. And you can see Win Exactly 3 Tricks. It's one of those games where you're trying to get particular missions. You're trying to complete particular missions. So have high hopes for this one. All right, I already had that. All right, we're moving along, folks. I did not want to go too terribly long on this video, so I think we're going to get it under an hour. Oh boy. The newest Sashi, yes, please, and thank you. You know what? I'm almost wondering, it may get a little darker, but I'll lose that overhead glare. Let's try that. Is it better losing a little bit of the light and losing that glare? Let me know. Let me know. Not sure if you've been asked before, but can you speak Japanese or do you find files to translate? I do not speak Japanese, to my disappointment. It would have been nice to be able to speak to people in their native language in Japan. I do not. Translation goes a lot of different ways. There are people in the board gaming community that do official or unofficial. Okay, Nick thinks it's better. Official or unofficial translations that sometimes I will utilize. I also will use Google Translate on myself. Okay, people like this better. All right. Sorry I didn't do it sooner. But yeah, the newest Sashi, very excited. I got to meet up and speak with Sashi again. It's been, luckily I've been able to meet him and his wife a few times actually. And so it was lovely meeting Sashi again and getting a copy of his newest game, which I know was doing very well. The booth was always busy, and it looks adorable. Number one, bring guests from one carriage tile to the grand chamber. So you'll have different of these tiles, kind of like Azul style. Earn points with clever placement of guests around your VIPs. And 3, keep the end game commemorative photo bonus in mind as you place guests. So these, I think, are what they're talking about, that give you some kind of bonus points based upon different requirements. And so you're trying to place these around these tables. I'm in. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Couple of games from the publisher that both brought me to Japan and kind of hosted me and also run Tokyo Game Market, that is ArcLight Games. And so this, and I'm not saying this just because they brought me over there, but I will say that I think consistently the most busy booth was for ArcLight Games. The line was very long, especially on Saturday. But I think most people were going for this, Tornado Splash. This was very high on my anticipated list. And so this is, basically this to me reminds me of Wave Runner 64. Basically, you have these characters and bikes, water vehicles that you are, controlling, and you have your own hand of cards that are all going to be slightly different from the other players. And it's a racing game, and you're trying to kind of go around this racetrack. And you know what? Since I'm going a little bit quickly, I have a little time to indulge this. All right, so first of all, look at these super cute Wave Runners. Whoop. There's one there. There's one there, right? And so then what you do is you pick a character and a vehicle, and you just place them inside. So maybe you want to go with this combination, right? Maybe you want to go with this combo. All right? I mean, adorable. I'm sorry, adorable. I'm not sorry, they're adorable. And then, let's say that it works out to this. This would be normally standing up like this, but you get the idea. And we have in first place this. Now again, you'd be stacking them on here like this maybe. But you got that, then you got second place, and let's say for third place, you got this one, the adorable monkey. All right, you'll put them on there. Love it, love it, love it. The character cards. All right, the Wave Runner cards, some setups, different setups for the tracks. All right, just adorable stuff. And then the cards you play, those are in shrink, so I won't take them out right now. But, oh, hey, some of them aren't. You can see they've got different kind of cards. And so you can always play a card, I believe, like on top of another card straight. But you also have some that allow you to play things like this. So you can go at an angle this way, or you can go at an angle this way. And when you move, you're moving 3, and each of these little white brackets are a movement, okay? So, and as I said, each of these decks for the different players are slightly different. I think some maybe have better turning cards, some may have better straightaway cards, things along those lines. But yeah, I'll be delving into this one a bit more, and super excited about Tornado Splash. See, I made the mistake of getting all these out, and now I'm going to be, you know, OCD about it later and wanting to put everything back immaculately and perfect. Will I do it? I don't know, but I'm certainly going to try. Okay, Tornado Splash. Another game from ArcLight is not actually out yet. It was not released yet, but they were kind enough to give me an early copy of it. And this is Snow Colony, which is a rondel style game with some really, really gorgeous art. All right, so I can just kind of give you an idea. But yeah, so you are moving around these locations, and you are adding cards to the different locations. So as you get back to a location, the more cards are going to allow you to do more things. It's going to kind of build up. You're placing out these super cute screen printed wooden igloos. 2 to 5 players, 30 to 60 minutes. Looks like kind of like a family weight game, as Tornado Splash is. And so yeah, this is a very soon, I believe, to be released game from ArcLight, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, getting into the bigger box games. Actually, Snow Colony was a decent size box. Spirit Path. This sold out. They were only there Saturday, and the publisher and designer were kind enough to kind of seek me out at the end of Saturday, and they gave me their demo copy. So you've got this gorgeous art from Saibepu, and I'll be honest with you, the only reason I didn't actually buy this one myself was because I was worried about luggage space. But when they gave it to me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. Now, I'm not going to say that I didn't come home with a pillow that I went there with to make room for more games. I'm not going to say that. I'll leave that for your imagination. Maybe I did, or maybe I did not bring a pillow back with me to make room for more games. If I did, I think it would be a worthy sacrifice to make. No regrets. All right, Spirit Path. I'll put these down here a little bit. Bean to Bar. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so Bean to Bar, let me just go ahead and take it out of this so you don't get the shrink. Very, very, very excited about this. This is coming from Masaki Suga, designer, and Analog Lunchbox, publisher. This is a heavyweight Euro game where you are going from cocoa bean to chocolate bar. And so it says players become chocolatiers seeking to share truly delicious chocolate with the world by building their very own chocolate brands. In order to grow that brand, you need to source quality cacao from cacao farmers, develop new confections to sell at events, local markets. So there's elements of economics in this, resource management, 90 to 180 minutes, 2 to 4 players. Like I said, a heavyweight Euro game with some really nice looking components. And there are English rules, not in the box, but there are English rules on BGG. But I mean, yeah, look, there's really, really nice components in this. Some screen printed wooden stuff. There's going to be a lot of cardboard in here, but yeah, you can get the idea here. This is the Japanese rule book, but they have an English one with the same formatting online that I will be printing out. And you can just see, these are the cardboard. I'm not going to get all those cardboard out, but you can see some of the main boards here. Very nice, thick cardboard. All right, so very excited about Bean to Bar. I love the theme. I love the look of this. And yeah, it just goes to show that you can find all sorts of games at Tokyo Game Market. It's not just small box trick-taking games, although there are plenty of those, and I love those as well. Okay, so I also went to 14 games, Sora games. There were a number of games companies that were together. I don't know how they're related to each other in one booth. And so let's first off talk about Snow Planner. So I already own Snow Planner. I've done a review. I moved it, it's a little bit away for me to grab right now. Already reviewed Snow Planner. They did a follow-up Kickstarter that I did not get in on. I still don't know why I didn't, but for some reason or another I did not. But I was able to pick it up here, and these are the deluxe components for both Snow Planner and the new expansions, which I'll be showing you in a moment. But these have dual layer boards. They've got these new custom dice that I really like, that when you put them out, they look like the workers in the hotel, because these are like little shirts. It would make more sense when you saw it all together. Some big, nice, upgraded wooden screen printed components to replace the cardboard ones. And again, player boards that are now dual layered when they were not before. So, and the main board, same way. Really, really thrilled to put all of that into my copy of Snow Planner and add in the two new expansions, New Challenge and New Season. So yeah, very, very, very cool. But adding more to a game that I already like a whole lot. And I know that these expansions will be coming soon. I think they may have delivered to Japan already, but I don't know if the English copies have been fulfilled yet. So there's that. Snow Planner, new season, new challenge. All right. From the same booth is Grow Sky. And these lovely metal tokens that I got extra, because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So this is a remarkably cool looking game. And this is another one that I hemmed and hawed on. I knew I wanted it, but I was like, am I gonna have room? Because I brought one carry-on and one checked bag and a backpack, all right? But this is another one where I'm like, I'm gonna find a way, because I love the look of this so much. 1 to 4 player game, 45 to 90 minutes, and it just looks amazing. So you've got these player boards, right? And in the middle here is kind of like a moving wheel, all right? So you've got these little blue cubes, which are books, I believe. And as you spin the wheel, you have to take actions that allow you to do so. You move the level of them and they let you do more things. And when you get up to the top, the books move up into this recessed area and they become even more powerful. This is kind of like a rondel personal player board. There's also a shared board out here where you're going to be drafting things, I believe, to get into your board. Some of these, like the blue ones, every time you pass those, you get what they say. The yellow ones, you have to land on them. These are tiles that you can add to your board, so you're getting different actions. So I love the look of this, and it has this little bit of a polyomino thing happening here, where when you fill up rows, you get bonuses, and one of the end game triggers is when a player completely fills up, that area there. What is the theme? Someone asks. In a world where flying ships fly around, you, a ship pilot, have been chosen to participate in a competition to determine the best airshipman in the world. Prove that you're the best by flying faster and more freely than anyone else while procuring fuel, modifying your ship, and sometimes borrowing the abilities of a mechanical bird called a grow. There you go. All right. So, yes, I found a way. I found a way to get it here. And I'm thrilled I did, because I would have really been bummed if I didn't come back with it. All right. And then the final thing that I'm going to be showing is a game that I want to make it very clear was not for sale at the Tokyo Game Market. They were showing it off, and they were also showing off their upcoming Kickstarter campaign, which also looks great. And that one is by the designer of Biohack from Uchibakoya, which I have talked about, we've reviewed on the channel before. So this is from Esper Game Studio, and it's called Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon. Okay, this was strictly a review copy that he had told me that he was going to be bringing for me before I came. So I don't want people to freak out, because he was very, very concerned that people know that he's not selling these until they fulfill. And so I believe these are fulfilling very, very soon, or maybe are in the process of fulfilling to Kickstarter backers right now. So he was not selling them there. Just, okay, hopefully I made that very, very clear. Now, getting to the game, you're running an anime studio, all right? I love the theme. The art on this is absolutely stunning, all right? So he was telling me, that the founder of the studio, the game studio, was telling me that they got multiple artists that are well known within anime. And this one looks amazing. And so it's a worker placement game where every player is running their own anime studio, dealing with a tight budget, a traumatized staff, and looming debts. And from what I understand, that's very, very thematic to having a anime studio. The workers that you start with are dead inside. And so you're trying to raise their spirits. It says, by making smart decisions, they can seize trends, capitalize on business opportunities, recruit eager new talent to turn their studio's fortunes around. It's based on the real stories, struggles, and personalities of the people who give their blood to make our favorite anime come to life. Based in Japan, with the development team consulted with many anime industry insiders to make sure the culture was properly represented. 8 different illustrators contributed, sharing not only their skills, but many insights about the industry they know so well. I kind of feel like I want to show some of the art, because they had it all out there at the table, and it was mind-bogglingly good. Also, cool cover with some, I don't know, yeah, you can kind of pick up that it's got the kind of the term that I can't think of right now. Where is the review for Trickers? I can't find it. Oh, maybe we didn't review it yet. And I do say yet, because I'm sure if we have not yet, we will. All right. Rule book, English. I have an English version here. Okay, apparently no review yet for Trickerous. Be on the lookout for it. I know Chris has played it. I've played it. I think what it was is that we wanted to play it more. I think we wanted to play it more before we came up to a review on it. So this is the main worker placement board where you're going to be placing out your tokens. You're going to be making anime, and each anime has 3 elements to it. It's got a setting, it's got a plot, and it's got a twist. Okay, and so you have to have all 3 of those, which are going to get placed into the corresponding areas before you can release it. All right, so here are the different studios. You've got Bark Studio, you've got Moon Rose Studio, Slice of Bread Animation Studio, and Spirits Animation Studio. All right. These are, as you can tell, dual layer boards. But my goodness. Look at these cards. I mean, this is ridiculous. So you've got different genres, right? You've got fantasy, you've got horror, maybe sci-fi. These cards are just ridiculous. Yeah, so super excited about this game. Player aid cards. Nice screen printed wooden pieces for your player pieces. Yeah, I can't be more excited for this game. It just, to me, looks remarkably good. But we'll find out, you know. Got to play it, of course. Can't go just by looks alone, but suffice to say, my interest is sufficiently peaked. All right. Jasogi Anime Studio Tycoon. I've gone for almost exactly an hour. So let's go back to the front here. Okay. Chris, ye correct, no review of Trickerous yet. Well, Chris, let's get on it. Let's go. Let's play the game. Let's play the game. Let's review the game. All right, we'll get to that. So, as you can see, a lot of games. Not all of these are going to get full reviews, I would think. I can't imagine. Especially since, well, no, I won't say that part. I won't say the part about a lot of people getting frustrated and annoyed with me because these games are not necessarily something you can find on Amazon. But there are ways to get them, and you don't always have to go to Japan. I've been importing games for years. Anyway, okay. So there's that. I hope you can sense my excitement. This trip was an absolute joy. It was a whirlwind. I wish I could have spent more time in Japan. But instead of thinking about the wishes of, I'm more thinking about focusing on what an incredible experience I had. I made memories that I'll never, ever lose. Met some of the most delightful people. Yeah, any recommended board game stores to visit in Tokyo. So I did get a chance to visit a couple of places in Akihabara specifically. Yellow Submarine has, I believe, its main store in one of the many very tall buildings, and it was on, I believe, the 6th floor. Okay, and so that was great. And then, as Zorias here says, Surugaya for secondhand. And I can confirm that Surugaya was fantastic. However, I want to give a little bit of a caveat to save you, hopefully, some of the struggles that I had. There are several Surugayas in Akihabara alone. And they all kind of specialize on different things. And so I thought, oh, I can just go into a Surugaya and find their board games there. No. There's one location, one specific location that is for their board games. And you go to that one, and yeah, they had a copy of Texas Showdown there, which it wasn't cheap. But I couldn't even find that at Essen in the secondhand stores. So that one was one that was behind glass because, like I said, it wasn't cheap. I want to say it was like 74,000 yen, or maybe 84. I want to say it was like 60 or 70 bucks, which is about what I've normally seen that for. But anyway, yeah, I could recommend both of those stores for sure. And beyond that, thanks for watching. I hope this was fun for you as it was for me, or close to. Yeah, there will be vlogs that are going to be coming up. Now, it's going to take me a little bit of time because on several of these clips, there were translations going on. And so I want to try to put those in such a way that it is most polished so that you can kind of get through that, but it's going to take a little bit of time. So hopefully you can be patient with me there. These games need to get played. I've already got, for this weekend, 2 different game groups set up so I can start playing through some of these games. I'll be bringing some of these games, I'm sure, with me to Dice Tower East. Suitcase has to play into that, but otherwise, yes. Anyway, that's going to do it for this live stream. I know we've got stuff going up today. Let me bring that up, actually. Later on today, we've got a boring unboxing just went up, so as soon as you're done with this, check that out. We've got, it looks like, reviews. We've got What's Happening at 2 p.m. So come back and check out Z playing, it looks like, K2 on What's Happening. Crowd surfing tomorrow, board game news Thursday. You know how we roll. We got a top 10 on Thursday too. Top 10 annoying rules. Let's find out what Camilla, Joey, and Chris think are the top 10 annoying rules. I'm curious. I'll be tuning in. Why don't you tune in as well? All right, look, I'm getting loopy. 3 p.m. Thank you, Chris, for the clarification there. We had to change that. So 3 p.m. for Z and What's Happening. So check it out. All right. That's going to do it for me. This is Mike DiLisio. Jet lagged, but still enthusiastic and excited. I'm getting ready to eat something. I'll see you all later. Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.